All right, so Magic beat the Heat.
Wait.
What?
It caused me a lot of issues last show.
What'd I do?
It's not what you did, what you said. I need you to clean it up a little bit.
What? You have to be more specific than that, dude.
Weird takes.
Weird
and then I have
take?
to respond to your takes, and they become hot takes.
The only
and then they
thing
go,
I saw that went like that people were saying is that I was at Travis Kelce, which I was not. I just said it's odd that he's dropping passes.
we have different algorithms.
because he's maybe
I
the
saw
greatest ever.
things. I saw the thing.
You saw things that I
And
said.
I got phone calls. I have text messages to show. And then another thing,
I literally can't even imagine what that is.
the other thing I want to make sure you understand, as partners,
Yeah.
when my clothes isn't right, you have to let me know. It's like
What
you
happened?
have
Oh,
a
the
booger.
pants were a
If
little.
you had a
yeah.
booger, I'd be like, Max,
Yeah.
get that out your nose.
Yeah.
I look
that's
like I had
me.
on shoulder pads. That's not, I just
Okay.
need to be right.
All
Okay,
right.
let's go.
All right. Okay.
What we got?
That's fair. That's fair. So Magic beat the Heat. I got something I want to talk about. I don't even want to tell you what it is yet. We could just do Magic Heat, but I want to start like this.
Magic Heat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you what the actual topic is when we get there, but I have something in mind for you. I want to know what I want to know something from you. And then Knicks beat the Raptors. I have something to say about that. It's not exactly about the game, but I want to talk about the Knicks.
Knicks
Raptors.
Is it Knicks
Yep.
Raptors or just Knicks?
Knicks.
Don't front on the Raptors like that.
Yeah.
Toronto's my favorite city.
Is it?
Of course it is.
Number one?
Number one.
To each his own. I mean, I like Toronto, but number one? You want to do a top 5 cities list? All right.
Well, I'll say, yeah, it's in my top 5. I take back the number one. But it's a close second.
Here's one. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, a topic like this, but Jalen Hurts meltdown, because we haven't done this show since.
You want to talk Eagles?
Yeah.
We can talk Eagles.
Well, all right. I want to know something for you. I want you to put your Mr. Bias hat on, actually. You're going to have to for this one.
No.
Phillip Rivers,
Who?
Phillip Rivers is on the Colts practice squad.
What?
Yeah. Phillip Rivers is on the Colts practice squad. I think we got to talk about that.
That's not true. Phillip Rivers
is on the Colts practice squad, yes.
Phillip Rivers haven't played in,
Well, he's probably not going to play this year, but we'll see. Anyway, he's on.
But if he is on the practice squad, I need whatever Phillip Rivers is taking.
You said stuff about Austin Reaves. We were talking about Austin Reaves a little bit. I want to pick your brain on Austin Reaves. About what?
AR?
Okay. Yep. Right? You good?
I'm stuck on Phillip Rivers.
And then
Wait a minute. Is
yeah.
the tight end? He's not coming back, is he?
Who?
Antonio.
Gates?
Yeah, Phillip Rivers.
no Antonio Gates.
It's the same Phillip Rivers with Antonio Gates.
Yeah,
Okay.
He threw a lot of passes to Antonio.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if Antonio Gates is my man.
I think we're good. This is stuff I don't even want to. There's stuff I've been thinking about. I want to hit you with.
What are you
but I don't even
listening
wanna
to
write
right
it down.
now?
What am I listening to?
I think your rap
So
stuff is suspect right now.
mine is suspect?
Yeah, but you like to go all the way back to this whole.
I do. A lot of ghost in my car.
Ghostface?
A lot of Ghostface in my.
That don't count.
But then I drive my daughter to school, so I have to also.
She's not listening.
She listens. I put her up on the classics. That's classics now. So, but there's playlists that I have to. Some of it's educational for her, but she likes to write, so she has good taste. So a lot of what I listen to is the school mix.
Magic, Heat, Knicks, Eagles.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers.
Austin Reaves. I like it.
Austin Reaves.
Come on. Can we start this show?
Yeah, we can start.
Game Over is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel's got it all. Same game parlays, quick bets for jumping in live and your way, so you can build the bet that fits your play. Plus, don't miss out on holiday offers and surprises all month long. Download the FanDuel app or head to FanDuel.com/GameOver to get started. 21 and over and present in select states or 18 and over and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
So I'm watching Desmond Bain go off last night, right? He went for 37. And I'm thinking to myself, and the Magic beat the Heat. And I thought we'd start out and talk about how, like, all these especially primary ball handlers, but stars, they get hurt. The team functions better somehow, and we were going to talk about that, right? And we can still. But the first thing I started thinking when I woke up this morning and I'm coming here talking to you is like, usually I'm thinking of two guards. Usually there aren't a lot of really good ones. And Desmond Bane just went for
which game was you watching?
Magic and Heat.
So the guy that doesn't like the NBA Cup was actually watching the NBA Cup?
I mean, I would have been, there's only 2 games on last night. But yes, I was watching the NBA Cup.
All I know is you told me you didn't like the NBA Cup.
I did
so now
not
you're watching the NBA Cup.
Never said I didn't like it. I'm saying I like it better than nothing, but I think they could do better.
First of all, we have film with you saying.
Roll back the film. But right away, you're going to start with this?
I'm just saying, I was surprised to know that you was watching. But go ahead.
You had a better idea for the NBA Cup. You came up with it in 5 seconds. What if it was tournament style?
I'm just happy you were watching the NBA
All
Cup.
right.
That's
it.
Dude. Okay.
So Bane goes for 37. He's shooting the lights out, right? They win the game. And I'm thinking to myself, here you have an actual two-way player. Like, he can defend his position, and he's not like a real small guy, and he can shoot. And he's going to give you year in and year out 20 points on 40% plus from 3, about 90% from the line, and play some defense. That's a damn good player, right? And is he usually a 2-guard like that in the league is a top 5 guy, because that's a hard position to find really good players. And I was thinking, is he even top 10? Is he top 5? Like, there are a lot of good 2-guards in this league.
Oh, yeah. There
is Desmond Bane a top 5 2-guard?
For me?
Yeah.
I like Desmond Bane because he's a winning 2-guard.
Right.
See, when people think about, is he a top 5? I really hate those conversations, because is he top 5, is he top 10, whatever the case may be. Most people are looking at stats. Most people are looking at style of play. Most people want to see you come down and do some whoop-de-doo type of thing, and, you're scoring the points. But when you're talking about winning, if you have a winning structured team on the floor, Desmond Bane is a top 5.
I mean, look.
Because the reason why I say that is because if you're playing winning basketball,
right,
what's happening is you got guys that's selfless on the floor, and they're making the right play pretty much every single time. So if I have a winning team, right, a championship contending team, that means I have at least 2 guys on the floor that's drawing what? 2.
Double teams, yeah.
Right. So now, if I'm drawing 2, and that is either a swing to Desmond Bane, or it's a skip to Desmond Bane, he's making that shot.
Either way, if you don't pay attention to him, you're
and he defends.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Desmond Bane that I think people don't understand how important it is to have when you're trying to win, you have to have guys that embrace their role. Most guys come into our league trying to be the role. When you have guys that embrace their role, embracing your role in anything, by the way, in anything, normally leads to winning. So for me, I would say, yes, Desmond Bane is a top 5 guard for winning. And here's the other thing.
But you got to count. Like people, I see
Who's
people.
Your top 5? Who would be your top 5
So
guards?
I would say the best 2-guard in the league is, and what you just said about embracing your role, I understand it's positionless basketball, so I'm kind of like fitting these guys into an old category.
But shooting translates. He's a shooter.
You guard the other team's guard and you shoot, right?
Yeah, but every team needs. What team has
so
ever
I think
won
Anthony
without
Edwards is the best 2-guard in basketball.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd say, I know Donovan Mitchell's kind of a combo guard, but I would think of him more like a 2.
Have to put him there.
And I would put him probably next. And I'd probably
over Devin?
Probably, yeah. You put Booker over. I wouldn't die on that.
It's not so much as about over.
Yeah.
For me, Donovan is definitely a combo. But Devin is 6'5". And again,
I'm not going to argue.
I'm always going to go with, again, when you talk about a guy drawing 2. But yeah. Tomato. But yeah.
I'll put Devin
I'm not
too.
taking nothing away from Donovan.
Booker and okay, fine. You're right. He has size that Donovan doesn't have. He's a better shooter. Okay. So let's say
One is a cheese pizza, then a margarita.
I'm with
It's
it.
the
I'm
same.
with it. But we go Ant, Booker, Mitchell, right? That's probably the top three. Where's Austin Reaves fit in?
Ooh.
Not an awful defender, smart kind of team defender. He's giving you 30 a night nowadays.
I mean, Austin has really, really, really took a step. I don't know where he fits in. I know he's a damn good player.
Is he top 5?
See, I don't really give a shit about the top 5.
I do though, because if those other 3 guys, okay, I'll do it another way.
Here's what I'll say.
This is how I do pound for pound in boxing. Okay, it's like who knows the difference between the 7th and the 8th best pound for pound fighter, right? What you do is pretend that the guys you've mentioned so far don't exist. Like there's no such thing as Ant, no such thing as Donovan Mitchell, no such thing as Devin Booker. If those guys didn't exist, who's the best 2 guard in the NBA?
Here you go with this fantasy basketball. This is why I have issues.
Okay.
The first show.
Yeah.
You playing fantasy basketball.
Yeah, second show, yeah.
No.
Oh, I played
From
fantasy on the first show? What did I do fantasy?
We did a lot of fantasy things. Basketball, fantasy football.
No.
I take blame for the Mahomes to Dallas situation. But
by the way, Nate Silver came out on with his Qbert rating, which like takes all these things into consideration and rates quarterbacks, including going forward where they rate in the league. First, like how they project. First time Mahomes has fallen out of the top 5. Just
who is
FYI.
Nate Silver?
Nate Silver, 538, predicted the election to such a great not recently, but
research
3 elections ago.
Silver.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I agree with that. But nevertheless, I don't know, Max. It's put it this way. There's so many really good players in our league, really talented players. I'm trying to think, and it's very hard.
Is this you, Rich Paul, the agent, having to be careful, or this is the way your nature as a basketball person?
First of all, I don't have to be careful. I there's no gray area with me.
All right.
It's black or it's white. Very simple. I'm just trying to think because when I'm watching a basketball game, I'm not watching the same game you're watching.
Right.
Just like if you're watching a boxing match.
Yeah, I've watched a basketball game with you. I agree with that.
Exactly.
Yep.
So when you ask me these questions about top 5, I don't really love top 5, just like I don't really love analytics, because if you talk about analytics, this guy shoots this 42% from 3, shoots for. Okay, well, what's the analytic when you're down 1? He's wide open. It's 30 seconds left.
You can do those too. But I hear what you're saying.
But
you have to.
You don't have enough of those,
just like your eyes are a tool.
Yeah, but you don't have enough of those moments to analytically be able to give me a consistency in your evaluation.
But I'm just saying those top.
I would say Austin Reaves has placed himself
in the conversation.
With any 2 guards.
Oh, really?
Because you can
if
only
Austin
go back.
Reaves and Devin Booker are available, you're not taking.
I'm taking Devin Booker.
Me
of course. But here's the thing.
So there is a list.
No, but here's what I'm going to say. That's unfair to Austin Reaves, because when you talk about having, Austin Reaves can only do what his opportunity is awarding him to do.
Right.
And if you ask me, is Austin Reaves taking full advantage of his opportunity? The answer would be yes. If you said that a guy was undrafted and became Austin Reaves,
can't ask for more than that. Yeah.
You would say, not only is he living up to whatever, he's overachieved. He's done more than anybody would ever imagine he would possibly do. So this is what I'm saying. Devin Booker, Donovan, Anthony, Edwards, those guys came in as lottery picks.
Mikal Bridges is a guy who was and I think this happens in the NBA a lot now.
He's not a 2.
Mikal Bridges isn't a 2?
No.
You tell him a 3?
Yes, he's a wing.
But the difference between a 2 and a 3 has always been nebulous in the NBA.
No, the difference.
What's Jalen Brown?
The difference between a 2 and a 3 has always been shooting.
All right.
That's why the 2 guard is called a shooting guard. You didn't
Jalen
know
Brown.
that, Max?
What's Jalen Brown? Come on. But the threes can shoot now. All the threes have to. Most of the threes have to be able
The
to.
threes can no.
Amen
the threes
Thompson can't shoot.
But
He's
well,
a two guard, right?
Well, you're going back to positionless basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You can say Aron Thompson can't shoot all you want. I want that guy on the floor with me.
No doubt.
Okay.
But he is. I'm saying you have to take all that into consider. Is Jalen Brown a two?
No.
Is Jalen Williams a two?
No.
Okay. So you take them off of the list. Amen Thompson, you're saying, is not exactly the same kind of animal as the others.
They put him. The reason why Houston can place Aron Thompson at the two guard position is because they have shooting everywhere else.
Norman Powell a two?
Yes.
Okay.
Combo two.
Okay. Norman Powell in the list?
Of what?
Best two guards in the NBA.
See, you keep throwing these weird words, best. Like,
that's weird.
Yeah, because now
I know you're saying horses
best,
for courses.
When you say best, the best two guards is on the Olympic team.
Okay.
Norman Powell's not on the Olympic team. Does that mean that Norman Powell is not a really good two guard? No. But that's what I'm saying. When you talk about the best, if you talk about the best, we take the best two guards to go win the gold. So who was on the Olympic team?
If I took Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker.
No, you're only taking two.
I'm saying if I took them off the list, they don't exist.
Yeah, then you can. Yeah.
Then who's on the Olympic team?
So I like to go by tiers.
Okay.
Not best.
All right.
The tier one guys.
Okay.
The tier two guys.
Who's tier two?
I would say Norman Powell's in that tier two.
With Austin Reaves and Desmond Bane, right?
Well, yeah. I would say, for me, I would say, yeah, Desmond's there.
So he's a top 6'7" two guard in the league.
I guess, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I like that topic more than you do, obviously, but
no, I'm just because I look at these guys so different.
Yeah.
I'll give you a prime example.
Good.
Denver won a championship.
Sure.
Who was their two guard?
You could, like, Jamal Murray's a combo guard.
He was not their two guard.
He's the point guard, but he can.
Who was their two guard?
He can do a lot of the shooting.
You're being disrespectful, Max.
Who am I being disrespectful to?
KCP was their two guard.
Yes, he was.
And he won two.
Yes, he was.
All I'm saying is,
you're right. Wait. Let me retract my former statement. Jamal Murray's bringing the ball up the floor. Jamal Murray's getting you your offense. Jamal Murray's also shooting the lights out in the playoffs. Contavious Caldwell-Pope is your two guard. Correct.
But what I'm saying is, he won't ever get the credit of being a top two guard. But in a championship moment, when a team needed to win, he made big shots.
Yep.
And he made big stops. He's never going to get the credit of those tier one guys because they do all things throughout the course of an 82-game season. But when you talk about the playoffs and you have the other pieces.
Doing your role at the highest level when you need it the most.
So I'd rather talk about, we know who those guys are. But I want to talk about the guys that the win guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not taking those guys are tier one. I'm talking about the better conversation is if you have everything else, right? And you need to plug in a two guard. You got a big that can play make with touch, et cetera. You have a point guard that can score. You have a wing that can defend and also score. You don't have the money necessarily to go and get this glamorous two guard. Who do you go and get? That's where I like Norman Powell. That's where I like KCP. Now, the interesting thing about Desmond Bane
and
is
that's actually relevant because the way the NBA salary structure works, your money is very likely going to be directed to your primary ball, if he's a star. Hopefully, the following guys are a star. A primary ball handler who can do everything, and and a wing who can play two ways and score and all that stuff. So now, how do you fill out the other positions?
Yes, but there's a lot that goes with that. Like in Desmond Bane's case, people don't remember Desmond Bane is on a max contract.
And that hurts.
Desmond Bane was the 30th pick in the draft. He's on a max contract. By the way, that draft was really good in the back from 20 to 30.
Yeah.
They had two guys in the top from 20 to 30 with max deals.
Who else is
Maxey.
Oh, yeah.
Bang.
Oof, yeah.
Exactly.
Is Maxey a 2-guard?
Maxey's a player.
Yeah, he's too
That's
much
half
of a...
Mr. Bias
Yeah.
hat.
No.
But that's also,
I
he's a real,
agree.
he's
He's a combo backcourt player.
He's a basketball player.
Yeah,
I
basketball player.
texted him the other night.
Great player.
After he missed a shot, and I think VJ got the tip, he got the put back. But the IQ of Golden State, they got that ball out fast and boom, kicked it. But Tyrese, and this is why it's so important. You know, the NBA does these background checks on guys, right? And they know everything. They know who your kindergarten teacher was. They know what you ate for lunch in the kindergarten every day. Every day they know what you ate. But I always think about it in this case. He missed a shot. He had the wherewithal to get up off the ground and sprint back and block Anthony Melton's shot.
He sure did. And even when he missed the shot, it led to a score because it was a smart shot. It put the ball around the basket anyway. And then on the other end, ices the win with a
why was VJ able to get the putback? If you watch that play, Tyrese shot that ball over 2 people. So now
there's no one. Yeah, there's one person sucked out. Yep.
But the point I'm making is, in most cases, that player acts the part. And the part that they need to act is, oh, I missed a shot. So you soaking in this thing, I roll over on the ground, I missed a shot. But being able to get up and go and make that play, I text him after the game. I said, if a guy don't want to play with Tyrese Maxey,
out of their minds.
There's something wrong with him.
Yeah, he's a litmus test. Matter of fact, I think you, me, and Simmons were texting about, because when that happened, I was texting with someone about it, because when that play happened, when he got back on defense and ices the win I'm thinking, man, that's a championship player.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I'm saying about Desmond Bane is, Desmond Bane's on a max contract.
Mm-hmm.
Because Paolo's money doesn't come on the books until next year, I believe, they was able to trade in Desmond Bane. Because if you look at everything else, you know, they paying Wendell a little money, they paying Franz is the only other one.
And Bane is max, but he's like in the 30s right now because of...
it was the max
then.
Right. But what I'm saying is, they were able to trade him in, and he actually got him and KCP actually switched. But plugging him in there because obviously they felt like they needed whatever, more shooting, et cetera, and see how it would mesh. But it was very interesting to see how they were able to do that, given the fact that Paolo had actually showed that he is a max player without paying him the max. The flexibility that you have when a young player is giving you max production.
Of course. It's like a quarterback on a rookie contract.
So you're able to...
But that leads to something else, which I mentioned briefly, which is, you know, Trae Young goes down, Paolo goes down, and the teams go on winning streaks. I was thinking about that because, and I think Bane is above this level, but maybe he fits in as the best example of this kind of guy. There are the distance between an all-star and your kind of just 3-and-D plus guy, right, is much short. It's much less than it used to be. It used to be the all-stars were a lot better than role players. And to me, and I brought up Bridges before, because he's the kind of guy, you don't want him to be the primary scorer on your team. But if you
he can score.
If the Nets need a guy to do that, he can get you 20 plus a game.
Well, he showed us.
And that's why when guys like Trae Young and Banchero go down and the teams keep winning and the fans are like, oh, maybe, of course you need those guys. And the fans are like, maybe we don't need those guys. What they're seeing is, I think, the effect of everyone being asked now to do a little more. But nowadays, everyone's more capable of doing a little more than they used to be.
Guys are definitely more capable. But what happens in that case, Max, when a guy like Trae Young goes down,
Right.
the style of play changes.
Mhm.
He's a guy that's pick and roll heavy, and he has 25 points, 15 assists. He gets his assists and he gets his points. But then you're able to play a different style of basketball. So it's not a matter of if they're better or not. It's just a different style of play.
But I think the fans appreciate that too, that it feels more like a team game.
Anytime
the ball has energy, everyone's touching it.
Well, here's the other thing. When you have a star guy that is going to take the shot most of the times, teams are actually able to guard you a lot easier because they know the go-to guy.
Sure.
That's why if we did the percentage of games the other night,
that's why James Harden never won a championship. That's why it's the jury is out on Luka, whether or not he's a championship player, right? Because they're too ball dominant and guys are standing around.
But here's the thing. This is why if you can change your style of play in the playoffs, you need those guys. Don't even. Right. Those are two of the greatest.
You just don't need them to be doing all that all the time.
Well, what happens is a Tuesday night in Detroit is a lot different than a week and a half of a 7-game series. So now, I know for a fact, coaches don't show you everything. Mike Brown isn't showing you everything, right, just in case they have to see you in the playoffs. I know T. Lue for sure. He didn't show you everything, just in case you have to see him. I used to sit with T. Lue at his house. We'd be up late, and he's going over coverages, film, and I would be sitting there with him because I wanted to know. And sometimes in the game, it would be a timeout, and I would be like, "Yo, T. Lue, what you running?" And he would say, "I'm running this," or "I'm running." And I'm just a basketball crazy guy. But I wanted to learn certain things, certain coverages. You had times where teams wouldn't even show you the defense,
sure,
because they're going to see you down the road.
I mean, my algorithm shows me Greg Maddux setting up dudes because he knows he's going to face them again in the playoffs, and then giving up a home run on purpose so he could set the dude up for that's next level kind of chess.
But with these guys, like you said, the difference, there's not a big drop-off, but it goes back to my point. Today, when a guy gets drafted, right, and I tell all guys this, the biggest reason why you see a kid ranked very high and they don't make it is because they never learn how to play without the ball.
Right.
They never learn how to embrace the
Is that
role.
something you tell your clients?
Absolutely, because well, two things happen. A college coach would get in front of a kid and totally tell them sometimes everything they need to hear to sign. And then when they get there, they have this idea of, oh, I'm going to get here and I'm going to be able to be the same player I was in high school. Well, that's not true. But the reality of it is, like I tell everybody, you and your family and everybody want you to have this bag. You don't need a bag. You need my dad used to wear this fanny pack that he used to, because we sold cigarettes. So
I read your book.
Yeah. So when the Newport or Cool people would come in, they would give you these. They would give you these gifts, and sometimes they would give you these fanny packs.
Okay.
And my dad used to wear it to Geauga Lake, which became Six Flags in Ohio.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me your dad was selling Lucy's out the store.
No, we did sell single cigarettes too, but no. But I'm like, you need just a little fanny pack. You need to be able to. You don't need a whole bag because you're never going to be. If you play with the top guys in the league, you might get 3 shot attempts. So now you have to be able to, 1, embrace a role, 2, perfect that role, and 3, be willing to play that style of basketball all the time. That don't mean you can't do other things.
You just don't need
so
to.
Going back to Mikal Bridges, the player he was in Phoenix, you didn't see that. And then the player he was in Brooklyn, those are 2 different players. But Mikal Bridges is smart enough to do as he's asked.
Right.
He can do whatever
but
the
you know
coach
what?
asks
Let me
him to
say
do.
something else about that, though, because this leads to the Knicks. I want to talk about the Knicks.
Game Over is brought to you by FanDuel. The race to the NFL playoffs is on, and the best way to game day is on FanDuel. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. Any play can be the play of the game. Visit FanDuel.com/gameover to get started. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and over and present in select states, or 18 and over and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
The Knicks, because they played last night too, there were two NBA games. There's the Magic Heat and there was the Knicks and Raptors. Magic beat the Heat, Knicks beat the Raptors. And Bridges, the Knicks gave up a lot for. A lot of picks. They gave up a lot for Bridges. When you see like what Durant was eventually moved for, it's like that.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem.
You're saying they didn't give up a lot for Bridges?
I'm not saying they did not give up a lot. But again, when you're in a situation where you feel like if we get this player.
Okay, wait, stay right there. This is what I'm saying. So I think of a guy like Desmond Bane, getting back to Bane. If you have a team of 5 guys who all do their job as well as Desmond Bane does his job, you can win a championship, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like at Bill James, the baseball's, godfather of sabermetrics in baseball, once did this, and I thought it was interesting because I used to think about this because I'm a sports nut, is like, at what point, if you said of all time or in the league right now, if you took the NBA, all NBA 1, 2, 3, 4, at what point do you no longer have a championship team? At the all NBA 6 level, 7 level, 8 level, right? There are 30 starters at each position. If you have a Desmond Bane level player at each position, I think you can win a championship. If you have a Mikal,
well, we just saw that.
If you have a Mikal Bridges level player at every position, I don't think so. I think he's good, but you're going to need a little bit more in certain areas now.
Well, see, you're discounting one thing.
Go ahead.
Whatever you think Mikal Bridges lack, and
he's good. I like Bridges.
But
he does what he's supposed to do.
You're basing it off a skill set, right?
No. I'm basing it off of how highly pitched each skill is. Like, you could have someone, you mentioned a bag. You could have someone who's a very well-rounded player, and 2 players, both very well-rounded. But one of them has a talent just pitched a little higher. They both shoot the 3 really well, but one shoots 38 and one shoots 42%. They both.
But what if one lacks IQ?
That's one of the things you're checking for sure.
Yeah, but then the other thing is, what if he also lacks IQ and willingness? See, I think that's so underrated because
willingness to accept the role.
Yeah, this is the biggest issue we have. Whether you have a guy that plays 20 years and get to a place where it's like, I don't want to. People were saying, "Oh, this guy needs to fit in," right?
Right.
They were even talking about LJ. He has to fit in. Well, he's only ever fitted in. He's only ever made the right basketball play, did the right basketball things. You have to take into consideration whether you're starting a team from scratch or whether you're plugging and playing a guy where you're moving pieces around. If this guy comes in and he's a 25-point scorer, but for this team, I need him to be a 15-point scorer.
Will he do it with a good spirit about it so that the team... I get it.
And by the way, you don't have to necessarily score 25 to be paid at the level of a 25-point scorer. You know how I know this? I did it. Tristan Thompson.
Right.
You wouldn't have said Tristan Thompson was at the same level of the top bigs in the league, but he got paid because of what he embraced his role.
Well, people would argue he got paid because LeBron James gave him leverage.
But that's bullshit.
Okay.
And
Hold on.
And here's why I call
Go ahead.
here's why I call bullshit on that. That's a cop-out. And people want to say that to discredit me, first and foremost.
No, I think they're giving you credit, actually.
No. You're not giving me credit with that. That's false.
They're saying you're using clients to leverage other.
No, that's false. That's not true. But again, that's fantasy agenting.
That's speculation, right? And lazy.
But the fact of the matter was, they were in attacks. They drafted him number 4. He had the ability to. If you ask Tyronn Lue who he wanted on the floor when you needed to win, when you have a big that you could switch 1 through 5, and he may not necessarily stop a guy, but he makes it hard on the guy. Mm-hmm. That's great. When you have a big that knows how to hold a screen just long enough for that guy to either get around it or for the defense to be in such a frenzy that now when he slips and that guy makes that pocket pass, it's too late for this other guy to move over. So that's
team defense.
Yeah, but these are things that don't show up in the stat sheet. Now, also, you can't replace them. Right?
Look, I used to have this conversation when Chris Bosh was on the Heat, and he was giving you 13 and 8, and Kevin Love was in Minnesota giving you 24 and 12, and everyone was telling me Kevin Love was better than Chris Bosh. I was like, you sure about that? If you watch, I don't think you'd be so sure. But before, not to get too far into the Tristan Thompson of it all.
No, I was just using him as an example, but I'm saying in terms of when you talked about having this many Desmond Bains.
Right.
All these people we're talking about, and I put Mikal Bridges there too, these are all the same people because of how they think.
You and I are on the same page about that. I think you explained that really well. What I'm saying is, even if you do all the things you're supposed to do, you do it with the right team attitude, all those things. It then depends on how highly pitched all those skills are. Like you mentioned Tristan Thompson, he can do this, he can do this, he can do this. If he could do all those things a little better, not that he didn't do them well,
he'd be an all-NBA player.
Right. Yeah, so what I'm saying is,
there was guys that was getting 20 and 20 in a different manner, right? I'll let you in on a little of the negotiation then. There was a conversation that was being had, and it was like, well, this player, and in this case it was Tristan, he does not average this many points, right? Mm-hmm. He only averaged X. And I said, that's fair. But, we were talking as a team internally, and I'm like, well, if you took the offensive rebounds and the extra possessions and you
figured out how often you scored on those.
Applied that
to some percentage of the points to
his scoring average, then where do you fall? So I'm not making it about him per se. I'm just saying there's a world where, and I think Austin's in the same boat. When you have guys that can embrace any role they need to play on a team, some days those are the guys that swing series. You have guys that swing a series.
I think that's a good point, and I understand it, and I agree with it. I'm trying to talk about the Knicks for a second, though.
Because you're from New York, or you just want to talk about
maybe, but because I think it's interesting right now, and this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that you can have guys on a team where at every position they do what you want them to do and still not win a championship. Because you're not playing in a vacuum. You're playing against 29 other teams, and a lot of them are really good. Even if they don't have every position doing exactly what you need, they have some dudes who are just so good that they can make up some of the difference, right?
Right.
So the Knicks are a team. Look, if Josh Hart shot the ball better, they would have almost everyone on that team doing what you want them to do, right? They have a really nice situation. If Mitch had a better free throw, if he was a better free throw shooter, right?
Yeah, but just like, of course you want every.
But what I'm saying is, then it becomes an issue of not just do you have all the positions and do they do what they're supposed to do and do they have well-rounded skill sets for what their job entails, right? But at what level are they functioning?
But you're not going to have 4 guys on the team doing things better than they already doing. Like, that's like...
No. I'm using the example of Desmond Bane because I need a guy to play defense. I need a guy to shoot and whatever and fit into a team concept. And that's what he does. The issue is maybe, but you don't want to pay a max deal to that guy, ideally, right?
It depends.
But what I'm saying is there are levels. There's that, and then there's Klay Thompson, who also does what Desmond Bane does now, but at a higher level, right?
But he did at a higher level because his team played for higher stakes.
And he's just a better shooter, a little bit.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. But here's what I'm saying.
A little bit taller, a little bit better defensively, right? Just a little better.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with his team played for higher stakes. If you put Klay Thompson on the Memphis Grizzlies and they got bounced out the playoffs, first round, second round, you wouldn't feel the way you feel about him. The reason why you feel the way you feel about Klay... Are you
arguing though? But
I'm not arguing that Bane is a better shooter than Klay.
Okay, so
absolutely not. So Klay is arguably the best shooter top 3 we ever seen.
This is what I'm saying. If you look at the Knicks roster, what I've been trying to say is if you look at the Knicks roster, this is the best starting 5 of my lifetime on the Knicks.
What?
The Patrick Ewing teams were better. Patrick Ewing was like all NBA all the time, right? There's no one like that except for maybe now Brunson on this team.
The best starting 5 of your lifetime?
On the Knicks.
What year were you born?
73.
What year was Clyde Frazier?
That was, okay, fine. Of my conscious lifetime, all right? My point is,
I'm sure
the
we can
starting
go past
5 that got to the finals was Patrick Ewing. The second best player was probably Charles Oakley. So you had like one all NBA
the
2
second
or 3
best
team.
player was Charles Oakley
probably
on
that Knicks team that went to the finals, probably. And then maybe John Starks, who really should have been a 6th man. I mean, that's the truth. The point is, this Knicks team doesn't really have a guy who you look at and say, man, he's below average.
I think
in
on
the
that
starting
team,
5.
I think on that team, Charles Oakley was probably the most impactful player because he did all things.
Right.
The best player, obviously, was Ewing.
Right.
The second best offensive...
John Starks.
Yeah, was John Starks. Who
was really a 6th man who was forced into the role.
Oh, you're talking about the 95 team.
Yeah, wait. I'm saying that even if you have Camby and Ewing was old by that point and Houston and Sprewell, when you look at each position on this Knicks team, it checks the box the way we're talking about. Like Jalen Brunson is a great point guard. Bridges, you want to call him a wing? Fine. He does the job he's supposed to do. Karl Anthony Towns is an all-star every year.
OG
is excellent. That's just what you want, right? Like it's checking everything, every position. It's like there's no gaping hole. And my point is, it's still not enough because in the NBA, it also matters how highly pitched the talent is. For example, if Bridges was better at all the things he does, then you would look at the Knicks and go, they could win a championship.
So if Bridges was, you're saying, if Bridges was Jalen Williams from OKC,
yes,
they win.
Now you would look at them differently. You'd say, you know what? They're getting out of the East. They're probably getting out of the East, at least, right? Yes, this is what I'm saying. So you can rank these guys.
So if Bridges was Durant,
talk.
They win.
If Bridges, Kevin Durant, Knicks win the championship. This is what I'm saying. My
Why
point
do you
is,
think the Knicks
you
went and
can.
got, let me ask you a question.
You can rank players.
Why do you think the Knicks went and got Mikal Bridges?
That's what they thought they needed.
No, but why?
Because he can. I would describe him as 3 and D plus. He can do what you're looking for, and also if you need him to do a little more, at least they were hoping he could do a little more. And I think. In retrospect, and I like Bridges a lot. He's a good player. I like him. I'm glad he's on the Knicks. If he was a little bit more of what they thought they were getting, the Knicks would be viewed differently now.
I think Mikal Bridges is a winning player.
Agreed.
I think he's a guy that will do whatever the coach asked him to do. I think they went and got Mikal Bridges because the year before, if I'm not mistaken, they lost to who? Boston in the playoffs?
Right.
Right. And that Boston team had Holiday at the time.
Brown,
Tatum. So now you go and get OG. You already have Josh Hart. And you get Mikal because when the going gets tough, you need defenders to guard those
Rich,
guys.
I agree. We're saying the same.
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying
but
if
the Knicks,
the talent is pitched higher,
I just think I don't.
You don't believe in the talent?
No, I think the Knicks could have got there last year and won the championship last year.
They could not, obviously.
Yeah, but again,
2 years ago they were snake bit and they got hurt. Last year, Indiana was better last year.
No, I think playoff series are about momentum. Something changes. You know, you may get into a little shooting funk. It's little things that happen. It could be a defensive scheme. It could be the team is just hot. Like it's all these different things.
I watched that, and what I saw was Knicks got unlucky 2 years ago. They were a better team than Indiana, period. They would have beaten Indiana. They were too banged up. They were missing players. So they lost to Indiana. In the rematch the following year, Indiana ascended and became a better team than the Knicks.
I think the Knicks are a surface level trade away from making it to the finals.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
And
you know who you would bring in? You would bring in some version of Mikal Bridges who's a little better than he is. And I'm not knocking Bridges. It's like what got me thinking about this was both games last night.
I'm not touching my wings. I'm not touching my wings.
So what are you doing?
I think it's somewhere in the guard vicinity.
Because you have to make up for okay. I'll go with that. The issue they have in the backcourt is you have one guy who's a defensive liability, but he has to be on the floor because he's incredible offensively, and he's the engine of your whole team. And you have another guy who doesn't like last night when Josh Hart started hitting everything, they win the game. If Hart was a 40% 3-point shooter, then they might not need anything, but he's not.
Yeah, look, again, Josh Hart is another winning player. See, I think you're underestimating the winning guys that they have on the team.
I love Hart. I don't want Hart to go anywhere. I love Bridges. I like these. I love their team.
Yeah,
I'm saying they paid for a player in Bridges. They paid a certain amount. And the reason they paid that amount is when they were squinting at Bridges in Brooklyn and thinking if that's who they thought they were getting, and they got a version of that didn't ascend, right? It's not quite as much as they need. You can make the
argument, yeah, it's needed.
And Josh Hart doesn't shoot it well enough.
You need things in the cupboard like draft picks if you want to make a big splash deal down the road. You can make.
You refuse to rank. I thought it was going to go viral. Rich Paul would rank his top 5 shooting guards. You absolutely refused.
No, I didn't refuse.
You refused.
I just don't love the top 5 thing. But if I had to,
yes, you have to.
You named the 3, right? Ant.
Number 1, Ant. Number 2, Booker. Number 3, Donovan Mitchell. Who's number 4?
Those are your 3.
And your 3 too. Those are your 3 too.
Okay.
You said Booker over Donovan. I go with you. He's taller. He's better shooter. I'm with it. Then there's Austin Reaves. There's is Amin Thompson. 2 guard exactly.
After that is pretty interchangeable. It just depends on the night.
Tyler Hero.
It just depends on the night. I like all those players.
Norman Powell.
It just depends on the night.
Okay, so so as I said, you refuse to rank the top 5.
I would say the top 3 shooting guards.
Yeah.
You based upon things they've done. Obviously, those guys are always on the All NBA team and All Stars pretty much every year. But I think it depends on the night because I see guys night in and night out.
It's Wednesday. Right? So what about tonight?
Where's Shea?
He's a point guard.
Okay.
Right? You wouldn't say he's a point guard?
I would just say he's a hell of a ball player.
All right. See, I just want to point out. I said he refused, and you refused to rank the top 5.
No, I just don't like the top 5 things.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of really good 2 guards out there. If you want to say that those guys are whatever, then great. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of good 2 guards out there.
We'll be right back. You're going to have to put your Mr. Bias hat on for this one. Because
what we have?
Jalen Hurts, who was having look, whatever people want to say about Hurts, they protect him in the offense, whatever. He has a great team around him. If you're telling me you have a game manager who can pick up first downs with his legs and plays out of his mind in the playoffs and in the biggest moments, that's who I want on my team, right? So I'm pro Jalen Hurts, except that he's on the Eagles and I'm a Giants fan. Otherwise, I'm pro Jalen Hurts. He had a horrible game. It's like historically bad. So I need you to put your Mr. Bias hat on.
I don't need the Mr. Bias hat for that. I don't think so.
What do
But go ahead.
if you have a client, I'm saying like if you have a client like Jalen Hurts, what do you tell him after a game like that?
I think, look, players have bad games, right? So if you want to say, if your client has a bad game, it all depends on the character of that client, right? If the guy's a more quiet guy and, to leave him alone after he may not have performed the way he would have liked to, then you probably just give it a day, give it a night, etc. Some guys like to talk about it to get it off their chest after the game. In the case of this situation, you're talking about a guy who holds himself accountable and moves on. So I don't have any.
You don't have to tell him put it in the rear view. He'll do it himself.
No, that guy's the ultimate pro. I think you see his temperament. I think but these guys have a hard job, right? You're expected to go out there and be perfect every night. Some nights are better than others, but when a guy's won an MVP and championship and been in 2 Super Bowls and Super Bowl MVP, that's one guy I do not worry about. But to answer your question, it varies. I've been in situations where, a guy is up all night and you're having a conversation. And it also depends on when it is. Regular season game versus it could be in the finals or the Western Conference Finals or a playoff game. You have to have a very short memory in our league or in any professional league, because what people have to realize is the talent of all these guys is off the charts.
Sure.
Everyone's extremely good. The differentiator is mindset. And in most cases, I tell guys coming into the league all the time, this game at this level is 90% mental. It's 90% mental because it's a roller coaster and you have to ride the roller coaster all the way to the end. And when you ride a roller coaster, it's up, it's down, it's around, it's twists, it's the whole nine. And so I don't think it's a specific thing. I think it's more so you having and knowing the relationship of you and your client. And then the way I handle things is very matter of fact. I had a conversation with a client the other day. We talked for about an hour and a half, and we just talked about what, focusing on what's in front of us. And it helped them. It really helped them in terms of just from a mental perspective, because these guys have to deal with, first of all, nowadays, everybody has a voice. Mm-hmm. Everybody has an opinion. Everyone has a podcast. Everyone is on TV. There's a lot of takes of people saying things without knowing all of the information, right? And so because of that, if you have a guy that reads into that, or they come home and a family member, there's a lot of things that I think these guys should probably do to get away from it. But
Jalen Hurts,
that's one guy I don't wear.
So I want to tell you a theory. I think I talked about it on our first show on Monday. And I was talking about Travis Kelce. So you have to stay with me on this one. The Travis Kelce thing is interesting to me when he drops crucial passes, because I understand if a baseball player doesn't have the reflexes anymore, late in his career, he becomes a guess hitter, right? He can't catch up to the fastball. He has to guess. And if the pitcher makes a mistake, he can hit it. And if he doesn't, he's not going to hit it. If a fighter is older and his reflexes are slowed, he sees the shot coming, he just can't get away from it, okay? But a tight end who's sure-handed, who drops passes in critical situations, to me, it's not like you forget how to catch. That's not the same kind of thing. So I start looking for other reasons why that happens. And I think guys like, you know who I trust at the free throw line in a big moment when I think of like players ever? A guy like Kobe Bryant. I look at a guy like Kobe, and there was nothing in him working against himself in the sense like, I don't deserve this, right? He believed he deserved to hit that
He
shot.
also
And I
relishes that moment.
because he thinks he deserves it, right? How you were telling a story about your dad. My dad's a shrink. So this is like, I think it's psychologically. When Kelsey drops a pass, it feels to me like there's something going on psychologically, like on some level he's not aware of. It's like he doesn't. When I see A.J. Brown, another guy, sure-handed receiver, and his quarterback's having an awful game, and he drops a dime into his hands, and A.J. Brown, and there's been some static and there's been some chirping, drops the pass, to me, that's a psychological thing. That's a thing where, like, I don't know, like in Kelsey's case, maybe he's like, man, we're just not good. We don't even deserve. I'm not saying, Travis, I'm not saying you're having these thoughts consciously. I'm wondering what's going on. And I'm thinking maybe unconsciously that's what's going on. When a guy like A.J. Brown does that, to me, that's symptomatic of something wrong. You know what I mean? That's not just like A.J. Brown, he has good hands.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, he
in that moment?
I saw he said he had accountability too. I think that's step one. He came out and held himself accountable. I think in situations when you play in a team sport and you have in any team sport, in any locker room, it's a ton of ego, as we all know. You have to have some of that to even get to the level of most of these guys. But then I think there's a world where I don't know how often this is done, and probably next to never. I mean, we've seen it with duos that played together that just couldn't figure it out, whether it was Steph and Garnett, whether it was Shaq and Kobe, whether it was...
Well, they figured it out eventually.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Took them a minute. It took Phil Jackson, basically.
Whatever the case may be. But then after the fact, you see guys get back together and they would say, man, I wish we would have just... I think...
Youth is wasted on the young. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in these situations, I would love for guys in all sports to really take a step back. Sometimes just take a guy to dinner, go over a guy's house, sit with him. I don't care. There's situations I've been in where it's like, I don't care if you're mad at me. You think my players don't get upset at me about certain... I get situations where a player may not text you back for 2 days.
Who?
All of them.
Who can you talk about on the air where you're like, I knew this dude is mad at me?
All my players have gotten mad at me, in times.
Because of stuff you said to them.
Because of stuff I've said, yeah. And in time. But we have a good enough relationship to laugh about it or to talk about it and we move on. But I say to them, and I would say to other guys out there that I don't even represent, when you're in these situations and you have a good thing going, right? How do you recognize the good in it? Sometimes you have to go. I just told who was I talking to?
And you're saying AJ and Hurts don't recognize or...
No. I'm just saying...
Because it looks like that play makes you think something's broken.
I'm saying in any situation. I think I was talking to Darius, and I was saying, Darius Garland, and I was saying, because the Cavs were in kind of like a funk, and I was saying, these are the moments where, you go and, you and Donovan, go have lunch, go and talk, go sit on somebody's couch or get with Evan and get with the guy. Like, it don't have to be a big team thing, but sometimes it's just like, okay, what do we think the issue is? Like what, and it doesn't have to always be like this most serious thing. Sometimes it's just about getting together. The best teams, the camaraderie of it all, guys that want to get to the hotel and, what time we meet in the lobby? We're going to be there at 8:00. The guys who you're at the table and you got 3-4 guys on the team that's fighting for the bill. Mm-hmm. That leads to, I'm having an off night. My man has 47. Let me get him 50. Oh, let me get him 60. Because we like each other. And I think, I'm not in any NFL locker room, so I don't want to speak on the locker room. I'm just speaking on what it takes sometimes to really recognize the good that we have. And even in life, recognizing the good that I do have and not focusing on the things I don't have will do a lot for you.
I think that's really interesting, but I think there's another dynamic at work, which is, and I'm not saying that's the case here, but I'm wondering. So real recognize real, game recognize game, right? So Carson Wentz had a great season. He was looking like he was going to be the MVP. They get hurt, and then Nick Foles does what he does, and they win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could notice, and I started hearing things about locker room issues with Carson Wentz and this and that, and I was saying it on First Take at the time, and I was being told I was crazy, and eventually they draft Jalen Hurts. I'm like, that's because they want him to play quarterback. No, you're crazy, and then eventually they get rid of Carson Wentz. I think a couple things can happen. You could have an issue in the locker room that metastasizes, right? But that's usually corrected if the ballers on the team look at the quarterback and say, whatever else, he's a baller. He's like me, right? If they don't think that about the quarterback at a certain point, then that thing can get worse. They have to be able to look at the quarterback if it starts going sideways and think, we're the same animal. We're both ballers. And the question with Jalen Hurts right now, and I've seen him in the biggest moments be a baller, right? But there is the issue out there, man, they help him out in the offense. They don't ask him to carry it. Is he capable of carrying it consistently? Does a guy like A.J. Brown ever look sideways at Jalen Hurts and say, but he's not like that? And that's like, I don't know the answer to that question. I think Jalen Hurts can be like that. But I wonder if A.J. Brown looks at him and asks himself that question.
Listen, all I know is if going to 2 Super Bowls, being a Super Bowl MVP,
and also could have almost been the MVP of the first Super Bowl against
Mahomes. Leading your team
Mahomes
to a championship has any questioning of someone being like that, then I don't know.
Is Austin Reaves like that?
Yeah.
If you were his agent, how would you advise him right now?
I don't want to play fantasy agent, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I want to be respectful to his agent.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I will say is,
we're not playing fantasy agent.
He's in a great. Here's what I would say.
Yeah.
He's in a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a player like that playing on a stage like L.A. with the Lakers, you got to look at it one or two ways, and you have to decide. There's enterprise value, playing next to a Luka, playing with LeBron, for historically franchise.
For the team in basketball, really.
For the Lakers. And then there's a world where, but I can go elsewhere as a free agent and get every last dime, right?
You know, I've asked a lot of players about this. I'm saying, what percentage of your career earnings would you give up to have won a championship if you didn't win one, right? And this is the answer the answer I normally get falls between 5 and 15%. Because and people are like, oh, but they're already so rich already. When you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, if fans expect dudes to give up half, really all the NBA is a TV show. And all the playoffs and the finals is a bigger TV show. So really what the fans are asking of the players is to give up tens of millions of dollars in order to appear on an even bigger TV show. And most players are competitive enough that they're like, I want to win a championship, up to about 10 to 15% of their earnings. And then they're like, let me get the money.
In the situation, if it's a $20 million difference over 4 years,
right?
That's $5 million a year. The person that is a little not uneducated, but inexperienced would say, oh, he can make that up because he's in LA. Not really. But I do think there's a world of enterprise value that comes with, right? And
personal competitive winning, satisfaction for the rest of your life, telling your grandkids you won a championship.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is just playing in LA for him.
Yeah.
But then there's
for Austin Reaves.
Yeah, for Austin, because that's what you asked me about.
Yep.
But if there's like a $80 million difference and the cost of living is cheaper, and so those are things
You're
to
describing his situation.
Yeah.
There's going to be probably an $80 million difference, right?
Well,
and it's going to be in a non-tax state, and it's going to be in a lower...
It could be. So those are things where, for me, in my position, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, you have to really, now this becomes a real conversation, because you're not making $80 million up. That you're just not.
For the rest of your life, by the way.
No, you're just not. You lose the stage, yes. You probably won't be playing half of your games on television. But once you've had that, do you crave that, or do you, because I think you work so hard to get in the position that he's in to be able to have options. And when talent is going to always have options. That's number one. Clear. But then there's a world where now I'm thinking about, my family, and I'm thinking about when I'm done playing and all these type of things. And the good thing about him is I think he can play anywhere, because I think for me, just being around him, his lifestyle, plays golf, family guy, pretty simple guy, loves to play basketball. It's not like over the top. So,
right.
He'll
fit in a lot of places.
Yeah.
How did dinner with Obama go?
You won't believe I got the dates wrong.
How do you get the dates wrong? You got 15,000 people you employ. Everywhere there's an entourage. People with clipboards.
I'd rather blame myself than somebody else.
I see. So you got it. So you're throwing them under the bus.
I am not throwing them under the bus.
That's a way to seem like you're not throwing them under the bus, but you're throwing them under the bus.
I'm taking full accountability that we were supposed
to have...
You're
the quarterback of your business.
We were supposed to have dinner.
Okay.
I thought I had a different dinner that I have really very little knowledge about just overall. You wasn't supposed to ask me that on the air, but since you did, I'm not going to lie to you. I got the dates mixed up.
Now,
I'm not even sure.
Is this like a dinner, like a private dinner?
I don't
You don't know, so it shows up on your schedule?
I don't have enough information.
Okay.
It is very vague for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where it's at, what city it's in, anything like that. I do know that the date was wrong. So I apologize for us not going to be able to get sushi at my favorite place, because I thought I had a conflicting...
I understand that Obama takes precedent over me, for example.
I'm just saying, Max, my dates was wrong.
Think we get Obama on the show?
I would love to get Obama on the show. Now, that is something we should really work on.
Work on it?
But not
at
yet.
Dinner. You got to work on at dinner.
Because, again, this is only my second game.
Right.
In my rookie season.
Oh, no. I'm saying, we don't need to bring... I'm saying you got to plant the seed when you go to dinner.
Fair. I'll tell him, no problem. But let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
When does... when you're a rookie in the NBA, it takes you maybe 20 games to start to get the speed down and the pace and the, all this. In media, because I'm a rookie and I'm embracing I'm a rookie and I'm a coachable guy. When do you think was I better today than the other day?
Yeah, I'm not worried about you. Just reps.
Just reps.
Just reps.
So my golf game is just reps, and I thought I was hitting the ball pretty good, but now it's although I chipped yesterday, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's such a tough. It's just a tough game.
Got to get time in the saddle. They say, man, there's no substitute for it.
But I do have guests that I think we should have on.
Who?
But I don't want to bring guests on
yet,
and I don't want to.
Right.
Here's the other thing. There's a reason why cards come with backs. I play my cards close to my chest. I don't play my cards face up. So I'm not telling you who on the air. Because once you start doing that, we have competitors out there. You think they're going to want us to have all these? Come on, man.
I understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right?
That's not a rookie move. That's a veteran. That's a vet move right there.
Yeah, I'm a rookie, but I'm How old was Doug Flutie when he went to the NBA?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
Yeah. What about Warren Moon?
That was the biggest question in sports. Is Flutie tall enough to play quarterback? He'd been playing quarterback for 10 years already. Is he tall enough to play quarterback?
I'm like a rookie that had like.
Right. Well, Warren Moon was a whole other story.
Well, if it was NIL,
yeah,
I would stay in college for like 8 years and then become. So I'm like I guess I'm an older rookie.
Right.
Yeah.
Red-shirted.
Red-shirted, blue-shirted, yellow-shirted. With NIL, I'm shirting all the way because I'm not a pro. You know.
Ready to do it again on Friday?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Must be 21 and over in present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with the Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and over and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.